If you're wondering what it might look like to actually swim with the fishes, find out this month with Jason Smith and his underwater camera.
Maine Knows How.
It's pretty unique. He has a drone that goes down to the bottom of the lake and swims around with these fish and picks up bottles and this stuff, but I could have used that one time. We were on Moosehead fishing in the winter, and back then we had a boat that went through the auger, and the guys put that on there, and they didn't tighten the back, and the auger fell right through the ice. I spent all weekend trying to get that auger blade out of 25 feet of water. Finally, I had to go get a big magnet and get it out. But boy, that drone would have came in handy, because we could have seen exactly where it was.
Time in places like this reminds us the outdoors offers more than recreation. It offers healing. For many who have served, quiet waters and open woods means something deeper. That's why the mission behind this program matters so much. Well, welcome to Maine Knows How. We have a special guest today, Jason Smith. He's on YouTube. His channel there is Maine Freshwater Exploration Going Deep. And I can remember it because it's right on your shirt.
All right.
Well, welcome, Jason.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're really excited to have you here because we just had a biologist last month on the show telling us about Moosehead Lake and how the water quality is so good and the fishery has improved so much. But you're actually somebody who gets to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I from having seen him, Tim,
Right.
he's actually one of the reasons that got me interested in doing the underwater drone videos, where he had done a few different ones at Moosehead with some of those monster brookies there back a few years ago. And I just remember seeing those and thinking that was the neatest thing.
Right.
You know, Maine, you know,
Sure.
local lake, and you know, the type of fish that we all hope to catch or see, and definitely very cool stuff.
Right. Well, why don't you tell us what you have here? Because I mean, it's underwater drone.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the drone itself, the camera part, and the model is a 5-fish V6 Expert, and it has 6 propellers that will basically move it in any direction you can really come up with, up, down, side. It'll
You can drive it.
Right. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It does take some practice to get a handle on it for sure. But the camera's right up front. It does have 2 lights. Once you get down in a clear lake, in the middle of summer, bright sunny day, 40, 50 feet down is where we lose natural light. Yeah. So, you know, in some of those deeper areas, once you get down below that, you do need the lights to be able to see and navigate around. It has a 200-meter tether cable that attaches to it, and this always stays attached. And it hooks right up in the back here. So this will pull out off the reel. And what I actually do is, a lot of times if it's just me that's out, I go out in my canoe. And that will actually have enough power on a non-windy day to pull me right around.
Really?
Yeah.
So it pulls the cable out fine.
Pulls the cable out fine, and if I you know, put my foot down on the cable itself, it'll pull me in the canoe around on the water.
Yeah.
So I know there's times where people will see me with my head down in the canoe, and I've got my remote control, and I'm looking at the camera view on my iPad here, and my head's down and the boat's going backwards with the cable in the water, and they're probably not really sure what's happening. But yeah, that's the setup there, and it records everything on a micro SD card in 4K video, and when I get home, I just download it onto my phone and make the
So how
videos.
did you get started?
Well, I mentioned, you know, Tim's videos.
Yep.
That was what initially planted the seed, I guess.
Yep.
Having seen that, and that was my first exposure to underwater drone
Yeah.
video, that type of thing. And I'd actually been fishing. I grew up Maine, Milo, Maine's where I live, right on the banks of the Piscataquis River. So always fished, hunted, whatever's in season. I always was outside doing that type of thing. So I always enjoyed it. I liked going to explore new places, get an idea for a new pond to fish or play. I like to go out and try to find, a new place to fish or wherever. And I'd been to a trout pond, a new place, hadn't caught a thing all day, artificial lures only. You can only keep one trout. It's got to be 18 inches. So if you get one, it's going to be a good one. So wanted to try it, didn't have any luck. And it's like, well, what do I do different? Other than going and fishing that place exclusively, a number of times, or having, someone give you some advice, which may be difficult to find. What are some things a guy could do to improve? So I had been just online searching, portable fish finders or that type of thing. And I came across these underwater drones. So with Tim's videos at that time, I didn't realize that was something that you could just buy. I thought it was sort of like a specialty biologist equipment that wasn't available to the public, so to speak. And these were right on Amazon. And starting out, some models will start out around a couple $1,000s. So I mean, they're not inexpensive, but I got researching what their capabilities were. They can go down, rated for 100 meters with 328 feet.
Wow.
And they record video all the time. We live in Maine. There's hundreds of lakes, ponds, rivers, places that could be explored. And remembering Tim's videos, it's like, how cool would it be to see lake trout down like 100 feet of water? I mean, no one really knows, what those areas really look like. And so the wheels started turning, and I just kept getting, thoughts of different places I could go that I thought would be neat, and live right by Schoodic Lake, which is by a mile, and that's crystal clear.
Beautiful lake.
And I can remember growing up fishing out there and just being like, I wonder, we're in 100 feet of water fishing for togue. What does it look like down there? Right. And so I kept thinking about it. And finally, I just, like, I could probably do a YouTube channel where I go to different places around Maine and just video what I find. And, I'm sure there'd be some people that might be interested. And just went for it.
That's awesome.
Initially, the thought was go to the deepest lakes in Maine. So you got Sebago, 316, I think is the deepest point in that. And you got Moosehead, Tonk Lake, Schoodic's right up there in the top 5 or 6. And that's just kind of where I started, and it's just evolved from there.
That's just an amazing story. I mean, but part of it is that the winters are so long, you have a lot of time to think.
Well,
how am I going to make this?
Right. Well, one cool thing about it is I can use it year round, so I use it under the ice.
Really? That must be fabulous.
It's a lot of fun.
To get the light coming through, or when there's snow, you're not going to see anything.
Early part, and it's eerie because you can look up and you can see what it's like underneath the ice, and see all the different formations, and just as the ice and snow layer builds up over the winter, you can see how that changes. And it's good that it has lights, because after we get a foot of ice and a little bit of snow, it gets where you could see in lakes down 30 or 40 feet with no lights, you can't see 10 feet down, because it just darkens it right up.
So Bob's been telling me that you actually search for things too, and you have found a lot of interesting things. What? Just tell us about that. Some of the things you found.
Absolutely. So the drone has the ability to have different tools. One that I got with the drone at the time was a robotic claw, and it wasn't necessarily something, I say this evolved over time. It wasn't something I had initially set out thinking I was going to do a lot of, but I wanted to have the option to do it. So when I bought the kit, it came with a claw. And one thing that was happening was there was times where I'd go out looking for fish, because that was fishing and stuff was really what I wanted to see.
Using that as the fish finder.
Basically. And what was happening was there was times where the fish wouldn't be concentrated. They're going to be spread out through the water column, and if you're in deep water and they're suspended on the thermocline, they're hard to find, because when you get down in that deeper water and you don't have that natural light, it's like you're looking in outer space. You can't, you're just wide open water, and if you don't zero right in on them, they can be difficult to find. So I always tend to stay on the bottom searching around, so I have a frame of reference and a way to somewhat navigate. Well, I was always seeing stuff that, it's like, well, if I had the claw, I could have grabbed it. So I began to always put the claw on, and it sort of became a treasure hunting thing. And inevitably, between doing that and finding and grabbing things, I was finding fish, because you togue, especially during the summertime, they're going to be down on the bottom quite often. And just old bottles, antique bottles, fishing gear, fishing poles, nets, you name it, all kinds of different stuff. That downrigger balls was one of them. Sunglasses.
You said a 12-pound.
12-pound downrigger ball. The heaviest thing that I picked up with it. Sunglasses.
Oh, I bet.
Hats. Just the stuff that people would lose overboard in deep water and gone forever. Well, there's been times where I've come across it and been able to pull them up.
So the bottles, there's probably quite a few old bottles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some I've found have been from like mid to late 1800s.
No kidding.
And it's neat to be able to find something like that that's been sitting there undisturbed for a century plus.
Right.
And be able to pick it up and just hold it in your hand, just kind of wonder the story behind it. And one thing that was neat, when I went to Rangeley Lake, I did a video out there and spent some time looking around, and I found a bunch of, that was probably one of the better days I've had for older bottles. And it was neat to think that this would have been from the time like Fly Rod Crosby would have been out there fishing on the lake. That would have
no motorized engines.
Nope.
They were out there in a canoe.
A lot different time.
Yeah. So what condition are they?
They look almost brand new.
There's paint that if there's color on them, there's still color? Or?
So I do find some that have the applied ink on them still, and I've had some that look almost brand new with the ink on them. Wow. You have to be careful washing them, because it will dry out. Once you pull it out of the water, and I just do need to be careful of that. Trying to keep them good.
Right.
But a lot of the older ones that are just embossed or just straight glass, I'll take them and soak them in muriatic acid with diluted with water for like a day, and just clean them up, and they'll look brand new.
No kidding. What was the predominant winner of what was in the bottle?
Liquor. Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
I watched you on that one.
Yeah.
Actually. You picked up a lot of bottles, but there is a lot of dust. When you can't quite get hold of that, it's gone.
Yeah.
You might have to come back.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Stuff is flying all over.
It does.
Oh man.
It does, because those propellers.
Yeah.
When you're trying to usually it's one and done. I'm either gonna get it on that one, or I'm gonna have to circle back after a few minutes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Boy, it looked like an atomic bomb went off.
Well, that was dope.
It's I may have said this before, but the average drowning victim in Maine is a 40-year-old male with his zipper down and intoxicated. So that's where all of those bottles were. They're drinking in their canoe and they have to stand up to pee.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Have you been in much salt water?
I have not done anything in salt water.
Just fresh.
The way I look at it, there's so many places I would have to drive by to get to
Right.
the
Oh,
ocean
yeah.
to look
I
around.
just thought that was a question that
Yeah.
somebody might ask.
Yeah.
I've looked in, like down on the lower Kennebec, down towards Gardner, and
Yeah.
you know, some tidal.
Brackish water.
Yeah. But I have not gone out on the ocean.
Well, I think with when you're getting into that big current and how they can have a lot of flooding, you might be better off in the still ponds.
Well, yeah, there's that, and there's quite a lot of people that do use them on the ocean.
They do.
I just, for me and what I was looking to do,
Right.
it's kept me right in the lakes and ponds that
Sure.
you know I've been familiar with, and it's easier for me to be able to do it right from shore or from a
Right.
canoe or that type of thing too.
So does it help your fish catching ability?
Well, it doesn't make them eat the bait anymore, unfortunately.
If they're not hungry.
Yes,
We have a claw.
Yeah,
Yes.
the claw.
Yeah. Sometimes I watched you and you were in the mid-range, and you just see a flash. And you what kind of fish was that?
Right?
You know?
Yeah, that's what it is. Especially in the deeper water, the lights will pick up just and you just try to zero in on it and move up to it. But it absolutely has helped, you know, me look at some new places
Yeah.
that I hadn't been to before, and sort of understand how fish relate to cover there. Looking at a pool in a river or something like that, and how the current comes down through and where the fish may like to hold on that. There's been times where that's surprised me actually, where I found fish in different, you know, holding along cover, in and around rocks or in along seams of current that I wouldn't have thought that there would have been fish there.
Right.
I think it's a very valuable tool when it comes to stuff like that for
What,
sure.
what's the biggest freshwater fish you've seen?
Well, I say freshwater. I did catch a glimpse of a sturgeon down on the Kennebec real
Oh.
quick. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously that comes from salt water, but I've seen some real nice togue. It's hard to say for sure.
How big? Yeah.
I would say some of the bigger ones would be in the high 30-inch mark. 15 to 18 pounds
Nice
maybe.
fish. Yeah.
That's a nice fish.
Some nice salmon and brook trout. You know, in the 4, 5, 6 pound range probably.
So you were relaying a story about being at a dam,
Yes.
and you had quite the experience.
Yes. So obviously right close by we have the Wyman Dam, down below Wyman Lake, and I was talking with Bob here earlier. I had wanted to go down and check it out, thinking maybe you'd see some nice rainbows or landlocks and stuff like that.
Nice
too.
brook trout there.
And it was early season, and I had checked the flows, and there wasn't any scheduled releases for that evening.
So early in the season, we still have the spring runoff. So we usually have a lot of water in the
Right.
spring. Okay.
So that's probably what I had run into. But
Yeah.
I had just set up my stuff. I'd gotten down below the dam, had just got my camera and stuff in the water and was looking around, and all of a sudden the alarm started going off. And so obviously I knew I needed to get, it's the first time I had ever been there. So I knew obviously I needed to move, and because I was right by the water.
Explain what the alarm is for.
Well, there's great big signs that say when alarm sounds, get to higher ground. So I knew that meant I needed to move.
They're
So,
opening the dam and the
yes,
flow.
they're
Yeah.
getting ready to let more water out. So I gathered my gear and quickly got up the rocks, and it wasn't just a few minutes later where I'd been standing was underwater.
Oh my goodness.
So that was I thought I had covered all my bases, but apparently there was a release happening at that time that I wasn't aware of, and then
Yeah.
those types of things happen.
Yeah.
Happens fast as fishermen too.
I bet.
You get there to fly fishing, you got clients and the water's been calm for, and all of a sudden it goes off, and that means everything is going to change. And you say, oh shit, this ain't good for you. If the water stays high, then the fish move back into those little lanes again, and then you can catch them. But when it happens, it's done for a while.
It changes it for sure.
Yeah.
Have you been in the Wyman Lake?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I will get there.
Yeah.
It's awesome because as this is progressed, I have people all the time,
I'm sure.
say, "Hey, have you gone here? Have you
I'm
checked
sure.
here?" And I love it because
Yeah.
it's great engaging with people like that,
Yeah.
and it's given me good ideas for places to go that I hadn't considered. Wyman's one I hear a lot.
Well,
A lot of
what's
people
cool about
mention
Wyman
it.
is because there used to be a town there and they flooded it, and there's still buildings on the bottom.
See, that would be
And I have a map
interesting to
of
see.
where they were.
Sounds like maybe we ought to go check that out.
I have pontoon boat.
Wow.
Check that out.
That's
We can
awesome.
absolutely do that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You think that drone is cool and you like new technology? Then check out True Enterprises. They're bringing the power to the North Country.
Looking to save on utility costs? True Enterprises is a local solar installation team with over a decade of experience delivering custom energy solutions across Maine. Whether you're powering a home, business, or large-scale project, True handles everything from design and installation to long-term support. They make the process simple and the results reliable. Call today for a free estimate or visit trueenterprisesllc.com.
As the water drops. You know what I'm saying?
So, Jason, I'm informed by highly placed sources that you have some great footage of brook trout spawning.
Yes, absolutely. This past fall, and getting back to mentioning, Tim's videos at Moosehead, a bucket list thing that I really wanted to find was some brook trout at Moosehead spawning. It's a unique thing. A lot of the fish or a lot of the trout at Moosehead run up into the tributaries to spawn earlier in the fall, but they have also a population of shore spawning brook trout that stay in the lake and spawn later in the fall, actually much later when the water is getting ready to freeze. And that's a newer discovery that they made. Again, mentioning Tim's original footage. And I really wanted to get a look with my camera at that, if I could find it, because obviously that's not something that's
there are no
advertised.
signs.
No, there is no big signs. They do have areas that are closed off to ice fishing specifically for the protection of those fish. So that's where I searched, and I had started doing the videos in summer of 2023, which is when I began doing this. And each late fall for the last few years, I spent some time looking, and I wasn't able to find them. This last fall, I was able to find some. And it was unbelievable. I'd seen some nice brook trout up to this point, but none of them compare to what these fish are. World class as far as brook trout goes.
Very mature.
Yes,
big fish.
just heavy, thick all the way down through them. Several pounds, 5, 6 more. And seeing them doing their spawning activities, in the lake environment, was just coming upon it and seeing an area where these trout were gathering, and then sending the camera down and getting the first bit of footage of it. I'm sure my eyes were just,
Who gets to see that?
well, everybody.
Now they do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things
Yeah.
I like about it is being able to share that type of thing that we can't normally see.
Yeah.
But what you don't get to see is being out in the snow squall out on the lake when it's 20 degrees
And they're spawning when it's like
yeah,
that above.
I had to break ice putting in the canoe to get out onto the water to do that.
So after they spawn, how long until they have their fry? Is that the right word?
In the spring?
So they'll carry them all spring.
No, they lay them on the bottom.
They
They
lay
lay
them
the
in.
eggs. Yep.
Okay.
They fertilize, then they lay there.
Okay.
So you could see these trout, fanning the gravel
Right.
with their tail, and the males coming in next to the females and doing their stuff, and it just, I like seeing the fish stuff, but the spawning it's just so neat to see, because what's happening, but it's not something that's easily viewed.
It's like a
Right.
mythical thing
Right.
that happens.
You know what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's late November for this particular thing here. No one's out there. There's no summertime. There's no water skiers. No one fishing. His fishing season's closed.
Yeah.
It's hunting season. Everyone's out, and
Right.
and typically before this that's right where I'd be if I wasn't tagged out.
Right.
But that's one thing too I've had to kind of wrap my head around too, is October, November has always been I'm on hunting.
Yeah.
And I still am to a point, but it's also prime time spawning for all the different fish.
So hundreds and hundreds of eggs? Is that, do you get to see the result of that, or no?
You can see with some of the fanning of the gravel.
Right.
Now, I'm not there for every day, hours and hours. It was
Right.
a couple different days that I was
Yeah.
able to get there and watch for like an hour.
Right.
So somewhat limited on that, but you can see where eggs have been deposited,
Yeah.
where they're moving their tails and whatnot. And yeah, I'm sure. There was several good-sized females there that are going to be laying eggs over several days.
Which is crazy.
They cover them back up after.
Yeah.
They cover them back
Yeah,
up.
they don't leave them exposed. Every
Right.
damn bug and everybody, all a lot
Everything
of
would
fish
eat it.
will eat them.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's to a free meal.
Right.
So they'll
Sure.
take your tail and you'll sort of,
They'll cover them over.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. But those fish weren't worried about you at all.
No.
They didn't even care what you.
That's the other thing that's cool about spawning time, is they're all preoccupied. They're concentrated in their areas, and they don't. Those trout are bigger than this. So for them to
Wow.
to be, it's not a fish, so they know not to, because you'll see them chasing and biting at each other. You'll see some have their parts of their tails missing, fighting at each other, and you could see bite marks on them and stuff. But they're very accepting of it, and it's such a neat view to be able to get right in there and not have them really be interrupted. They go right about their business
No
like
kidding.
that's not even
So there's
there.
really no reaction to it. They
I keep it very slow, methodical movements.
right.
I can I've been doing it enough so I can read their body language, to a
Yeah.
point on what I can get away with and what I can't. Initially, when I first come in, I don't try to put it right into them. I kind of see how they react.
Yeah.
Yep. And I just follow along with what they'll allow me to do. And some of those trout, I've got right in on them. They're right rushing right by the camera lens.
It's just
Pretty neat, huh?
it's just amazing.
Very good.
To see the other side of the hook, so to speak. You're going down and you're being able to see. Are your finances underwater? Check out our friends at Sebastica Credit Union today.
If you want to catch some of those fish that we saw, you want to stop in at the Moosehead Trail Trading Post. That's where I get a lot of my stuff, and they're a vast resource.
So you've seen them go the fish go after smelt, and a wide variety of fish, I would assume. Any eels or?
Oh yeah, sea
Yeah.
eels, cusk.
Yeah.
that's been a unique one. There's not a lot known about them from different biologists and
cusk?
stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
As far as their habits.
Yeah.
So that's been one whenever I've come across them, it's neat to see just how they sort of relate to any cover that might be around.
So my experience with cusk is Moosehead Lake.
Yep.
Fishing on the bottom, not getting a flag, pulling up my trap and having
them be right there.
having a cusk on me.
I think that's a pretty common thing with them there. I actually did a video last winter out there when they had the blood moon lunar eclipse, and did a nighttime underwater video just
cool.
to see if that did anything for cusk activity, and did some cusk fishing and saw a few on the bottom out there at nighttime and caught a couple.
But they on video, do they move around quite a bit, or are they pretty stationary? And
I've had some where a little bit of both.
yeah.
Some where you'll see them swimming, and I'll bring the camera up to them, and they'll just stop and drop to the bottom and not move.
Right.
I think they think they're hiding.
Yeah.
I've had some where they'll be swimming along, and they'll come next to a log, and they'll tuck right into the log like they're hiding.
Yeah.
I've had some where they'll turn and face the camera and sort of puff themselves out. I had that
Really?
this summer. Yeah.
That's
Down to Peabody Pond down in southern Maine. It's a unique looking fish down swimming to get video of. But
And we were speaking about spawning.
Right.
Like that would be a really cool one to see spawn. I don't know if you've had that.
I haven't. That's something I'm hoping to
Yeah.
find. Just because, again, that's not really something that's, especially like you mentioned, it's a wintertime thing under the ice.
Yeah.
So really, unless someone's going to dive under, which they're probably not in the wintertime, that's really about the only tool to be able to view something like
Yeah.
that.
Because cusk, they spawn in like February under the ice
Ugh.
in like supposedly like writhing masses of
Yeah.
fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a
that'd
big
be
spawning ball.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've not, that was kind of one of the things I was hoping to see
Yeah.
last year when I did that nighttime video.
Yeah.
I didn't, but it's something I'm going to continue to look for, hopefully.
Bob, you can correct me, but my memory is that like pike are in the spring,
Yeah.
right as the ice is going out. Is that about when they
That's right.
spawn?
Yep.
And I know on our lake we've had biologists will go down to the one end
Right.
and net the pike that are in there. And
Yeah.
of course I have to ask them how big they are. And they say, well, we can't tell you that, but we can tell you that they are they are,
Yeah.
many
Oh, I'm
state
sure.
records going around. But have you ever been able to see the pike nesting or spawning?
I've seen a few pike doing videos, not nesting.
Yeah.
North Pond and Smithfield, I did a video there, and
Yeah.
I saw a few pike there. They weren't on nests; I just happened onto them.
Yeah.
I'd never been there, so it was just exploratory. Just happened onto a few of them, some bass and stuff like that.
The south end of Messalonsky by 27, that's all sand bottom, and that's apparently where their big spawning area is. And
Interesting.
that would be an interesting thing to see some 3+ foot
Yeah, that'd be wicked cool.
pike down there nesting, because the ice is out too when they're
We've caught them there doing that
Have-
before.
yeah.
And they're in this much water.
Yeah.
See, they're temperature controlled. And they'll come in and they get right as tight to that black shoreline as they can.
Really?
And the temperature will warm up 3,
Yeah.
4, 5 degrees. They move right in tight there. Then they'll spawn and then move back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good place to look. So we go in with the drift boat and fly cast them, but they don't bite very good when they're spawning. Mostly they're feeding all on the bottom on dead stuff.
Yeah.
But those cusks, there's places on Moosehead that we would fish for big brookies. In the beginning of the year, we would catch some big brookies. And then we'd drop our lines and we'd fish on the bottom, and them cusks are in there feeding on those brookie eggs
Yep.
that they laid. They would come in behind there, and we would catch them big cusk.
Yep.
That. But we never told anybody that sandbar or that gravel bar where them big brookies were
Right.
coming in and nesting in there.
One thing
So I'll show you where it is. You can go check it out.
that'd be cool. One thing I've seen too is togue when they're gathering to do their spawning. There'll be a bunch of big suckers that'll be hanging out with them
Right.
to get into the eggs and stuff. Once
Oh,
they're-
really?
Oh, yeah.
They want to
And
just
they're
go.
huge.
Absolutely.
The suckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know right where they need to be at the particular time.
You'd think that the trout would be getting upset, but it's just crazy. It's
All
just
the big world.
all the
Yeah.
big circle.
Yeah. All those eggs ain't gonna make it.
So what's on your to-do list, your honey-do list with this?
Well, continuing to add new places.
Right.
And new species. I've been really happy with getting some of the stuff I've had in mind on video so far. This past fall, I got a bunch of nice Arctic char spawning. That was something that I really wanted to get some video of. The bright orange looking char, that was really cool.
That is cool.
I've want to get some whitefish footage. That's one I just haven't. I just need to target some specific lakes to look for that, and I'm hoping to do that right off. I want to get up north for some muskie. I think it'd be interesting to get some video of that. And yeah, just continuing to find other spawning areas
Yeah.
and doing more recoveries for different things. We had the plane that crashed out to Moosehead early fall, and I had the opportunity with that to video Greg Canders, the diver, do the recovery on that, down 120 feet, whatever it was, down on the plane doing his work.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome opportunity.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And because that's not something that you typically get to see that view.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that there's no bad incidences, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, I think, to document stuff like that and be able to show people what's involved in that type of thing. 'Cause,
Sure.
I mean, it's
the recovery of
there's a lot of work, a lot of things that are involved with it, and I think give people a good understanding of stuff like that too. Because I know I didn't realize it, till being there,
right.
living it and seeing it. A lot of work involved.
Wow.
Well, that's it's
Pretty neat.
it's it's just fascinating to think that you're down there getting this on tape, and I just want to make sure everybody gets, and we'll put it on the screen. But it's Maine Freshwater Exploration Going Deep on YouTube.
Yep.
And you post frequently, or
Yep. I do my longer videos on YouTube.
Okay.
A little bit more involved videos there. Also on Facebook, I have my own profile and a Facebook page as well under the same name. And usually I'll put quick clips on there,
Okay.
just snippets of stuff that I see or find. And I'll also post links to videos as I put them on the YouTube channel.
Okay. Well, that's great, Jason. Really, thank you. And I really encourage people to go to your YouTube address there, and also your Facebook, and really check out what you have posted there. But it's fascinating stuff, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun. But at the same time, 20 degrees and snowy and being on water does not sound like so I'm sure you are able to focus in on the task at hand and
Absolutely.
just get
I enjoy it immensely.
get a grasp on really what you're bringing onto film. It's just truly amazing. So we really thank you for being
Thank
here.
you very much. for having
We
me.
wish you the best, and we'd love to have you back in the future.
Absolutely.
And but with that, we'll wrap it up on this session of Maine Knows How.
Maine Knows How is made possible by you and by these community-minded sponsors. Modern Woodmen of America, a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. Together with our members, we've been touching lives and securing futures since 1883. True Enterprises, a local solar installation team with over a decade of experience delivering custom energy solutions across Maine. Sebasticook Valley Federal Credit Union, supporting our local community with valuable services, a friendly atmosphere, and caring employees.
J.W. Parks Golf Course, a 9-hole facility with a full-service golf shop
And driving range. Pine Grove Programs, supporting veterans, first responders, and law enforcement by providing free outdoor opportunities for those who serve and their families. Moosehead Trail Trading Post, offering quality hunting and fishing gear with expert advice for your budget and outdoor needs. And by Digital Spirit Media, delivering over 30 years of technical expertise in media and event production. Maine Knows How.